The first time I tried it, it was like a mind blown moment. It's just, hey, can you give me a script that does this for me? Grabs landing pages, renames them, whatever. It's given me a massive speed boost because now I don't really have to Google anything. I don't have to Google documentation to write my code. I don't have to open HubSpot to check all my stuff on my HubSpot and grab the properties and coordinate with stuff. It's the only thing that's going to be around in 12 months' time.
This is the Built Happily podcast, where we dive into building apps, companies, and relationships in the HubSpot ecosystem.
As HubSpot grows, so does the opportunity, and we put you in the room with the people making it all happen.
On today's episode of the Built Happily podcast, we got another app builder in the building, Jack Tolley at Daeda Apps.
Jack told us his story on how he burst onto the scene building apps right out of the gate for HubSpot. He talks about what it's like to build a solopreneur app business with himself and his wife, we might add, and kind of how he balances being able to support his customers, take on other services projects, and all the things that they need to do to sustain and innovate a small app shop on the HubSpot app marketplace. All that and more on this episode of the Build Happily podcast.
Man, look, live from Chiang Mai. Sawadee Mai, out here doing it big in Thailand. We got Jack Tolley, Daeda Tech. Like, man, come on.
Is it Daeda?
Is it Daeda? I'm probably saying it Daeda.
Daeda.
Daddy?
Yeah. Daddy is appropriate. Yeah, you can do one.
Yep. Daeda, right?
Jack,
Yeah,
we
Daeda.
see your work. We are in the workflows tool looking at who's doing what, right? I haven't seen in my many years of HubSpot, it's a few, have I seen someone going in on the mission, like the gospel of why doesn't it do this? It should do this. Fuck it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna put it out there. And you have done that. Jack, welcome to the Build Happily podcast, man.
Oh, you're going to make me blush. I'm happy to be here. Yeah, just following the OGs. Just following the OGs.
What? Well, actually, first of all, for anyone tuning in, doesn't know who you are, tell us a little bit about Jack, who you are, where you do it. Yeah, give people the Jack 101 here.
Oh, Jack 101. Yeah. Okay, so I guess, everything started 10 months ago. Quit my job. Took my wife out of university. We all moved to Chiang Mai. We decided, we think this internet thing is here to stay and we're going to try and make it big. I come from a software engineering background, which means I'm basically no social skills, no idea how the world works, but, a lot of confidence. So the first stop was obviously, if I'm going to figure out how to make money, I should probably go where the salespeople are, where the marketers are. And that is obviously HubSpot, right? So I took a look at the marketplace, saw all of the DAX's stuff, the TikTok today, and it's kind of like, yeah, that's about what I had in mind. Let's give this a go and see what happens. First 6 months, no idea what I'm doing. But I think I've made a couple of quid now, and I kind of have an idea, but very much still a baby entrepreneur.
I mean, so you jumped right into the app building game right off the bat.
Off jump.
Yeah, pretty much. I like to think I'm not too bad at coding.
What kind of software engineering were you doing before? What was life like before HubSpot land?
Oh, so I was straight out of university. I was in like a nice fintech consultancy around London. So kind of more of the startup-y side. So it gave me a good base. But it was...
what were you building?
Just big real-time trading software, right?
Got it.
Oh, really?
Crazy
Trading what?
They were trading oil futures, but they wanted to get everywhere. But it was like Excel on the web is basically what the idea was.
Got it.
But it's not my passion. My passion is marketing campaigns and RevOps pipelines.
Where does that come from?
I don't know. I think I like systems. Before I started, no idea what RevOps was. And then you get in and you realize that, actually the whole world is as complicated as software engineering, if not more so, because they got those soft, gooey people in the middle, which are a bit...
Some soft, gooey people.
Well, I mean, I'm soft and gooey.
Systems is... I don't know if you play video games at all, but I always say back in the day when I started video games, it was just systems. It's a system. Here's the rules. Play the game. How fast can you do the game? Can you figure out the patterns? It's just all the same kind of thing. And when you jump into, at least when we jumped into HubSpot, we're like, Oh, this is how it works. Oh, there's a bunch of pitfalls. I bet you I can build some bridges. See how long the bridges last before HubSpot builds the bridge. Shout out to
Yeah.
everything that we do. And boom, you can kind of live off of that and have fun with it, right? Because the key is having fun, right? It wasn't your passion.
100%.
But when you have fun, like spotting the gaps, making the bridges, making the cheats, making the loopholes, like patching them up, that's kind of how the world works at scale. Find everything is gamified here, especially taxes. It's a funny game that they made up that you have to figure out rules and play the game, not just be like, oh, it's 15%. That's what you play. So when you first came to HubSpot, what was the one kind of tripwire that hit you off first?
As in like a bad way or a good way?
As in a bad way, like you're like, or as a fun, solvable, like, oh, ding ding. Where was the first aha moment when you got an idea to build something?
Oh, I mean, it's the very first one is, I was testing the waters. I was doing stuff and I built a Chrome extension for exporting snippets because people were complaining about it on the forums and you can't do it. And I put it up and then I made, $15. It's like, oh my God, that's insane.
I know that.
Especially
that was the sweetest $15. Let me tell you something.
Wait, what do you mean exporting snippets?
you can't export snippets on HubSpot. So this just, it's a Chrome extension. It hooks in and it uses the internal API to grab all these snippets and give you a CSV.
Oh, okay, got it. So if you wanted to like export all the snippets, a little time, into like a spreadsheet, I get it. That's finding a niche for sure.
Yep.
Yeah,
it is niche.
That's what you got to do, though. Honestly,
Do you make money off of an idea that you built at your house? Like that is the beauty of the internet. Like I remember my first 20. It was $29, I think it was, or $36 off affiliate marketing in 2006, 7, or whatever that year was. I was like, I made $30. Are you kidding me? Took me like a month and a half, 2 months to make it, but dude, $30 died. I died.
Yeah.
It sets something off. It's a complete like worldview shift, isn't it? And I think as in this current age, I think we've gone all the way from, if you were in ancient Mesopotamia, you needed about 10,000 people to get anything done. Now, you can leverage the entire internet and a little bit of code as a single individual, and that's it. It's crazy what you can get accomplished just as one guy.
Yeah, and you say the AI word, and you can get half the stuff built. You race for that 80%, and that's the biggest thing.
Don't get me started on AI. I'm like, the past 2 weeks have been insane for me.
There's no excuse for any human on earth to be not 80% done with their idea, because you can just ramble off as long as you can speak and or have someone speak for you, or you have like a digit that you can type something in. You're almost done. Like you're almost done.
Yeah.
You just have to know this, right?
So, Jack, a big thing we try to do as best we can is evangelize the idea of and encourage the idea of building businesses that are just apps on HubSpot, right? Like we want the ecosystem to thrive. We want competition. We want to see HubSpot to be able to do more stuff. We want to see people be successful building businesses, doing this whole app thing, right? And I think your story is really inspirational, especially for like people coming into the HubSpot world that maybe don't have a ton of experience in HubSpot land, right? But like proving that like you can come in and you can build a successful app business. What sort of advice do you have for people that might be in your exact shoes that you were like 10 months ago, right? Just getting into the app building world. Like, what's the biggest thing you learned and like, what's something that you wish you had done like differently if you had known better, I guess. Yeah.
It's like I say, two things. I think one of the biggest things is the HubSpot community is wicked, right? Yeah. You can go from some communities, like the Stardew Valley community, who is anti-AI and got my wife's AI chatbot taken down to help people with Stardew Valley. Yeah, they're vicious community. Yeah. But you come to HubSpot and everyone wants you to succeed. Everyone's happy to help. Everyone's like, each other hand up. It's almost fantastical. Yeah. And I think the second thing is, especially if you're coming from a software engineering background, you're thinking too big, right? I think I'm getting hit with this lesson again right now, but if you can just take a small problem like the snippets problem and you can solve the problem in a nice, cool way, it might only take you a weekend if you're good at building, right? There's value in that. But if you go too big, it slows you down and everything starts getting gunked up. So
What do you mean by
start
go
small.
too big? Go too big? Is it like product does too much or build too many things or app has too large of a scope? Like what sort of like too big are you kind of alluding at?
All of them, right? All of them. I think definitely app does too many things. I think one of the main app at the moment is like Daeda Essentials, right? Which is a collection of workflow actions. But really, there's only one that people are using, which is the rate limiter, which stops API stuff and all other kinds of issues. But there's a whole bunch of other actions in there, but people don't really use them, right? So I think if I was going to do that one again, focus on that one thing that everyone's using and just make it perfect.
Just make that rate limiter as best as it possibly could be and maybe like a bunch of different variations of it, but it's still like that one thing you're focusing on.
Yeah, exactly. And then, if you go for other big projects, like the more scopes you add, the more you need people to use all the scopes to get through the verification process, get onto the marketplace. The harder it is to keep people engaged. And I think it kind of covers up a bad idea, right? Like 10 mediocre ideas, they're never as good as one good, well executed one.
Yeah, and but you have to take the swings, man. You have to take those swings. Everything that we did early on was, again, community derived. Hey, I can't clone stuff. Like, really?
Yeah.
We should try to fix that. Can we fix that? Fix it, right? Still loving it today because there is a native option, but people need more.
Kind of.
People need more.
There's a basic native option. I'll say that.
Basic. But there's always going to be, if you're building on a platform, you have to check the box. Like eventually the box has to be checked, but can you add what's more? And having that, what's interesting is you're coming into it blind, which is how we came into it. I didn't have the experience, right, of a solutions partner or doing HubSpot work to know when you're in the weeds doing stuff like you hit that problem where you're like, why is it like this? I can't do this. Really? Oh man, I can't use record ID to match associate. Oh my, I can't put a record ID in a form. Oh no. The thing with the nuanced stuff, right? Where you're like, if HubSpot, you get it, right? But you don't know HubSpot. So you have to kind of see from a surface level and you don't have that bias of building and like, oh, well, I know that there's this and no, you're just like, hey, I hear HubSpot's cool. I'm going to go in here and try to build something. Let me find something and boom. You're like the couple apps that I know that I've like messed around with, like hey, wait until it was one with meetings, right? Where it's like, you got one where it's like if the meeting is out of bounds, there's a bunch of things where it's like true nuanced workflows so that you're basically crushing edge cases. Like your edge case, edge. I didn't even say that with my edge case crusher is what you are. Data.
Yeah.
And actually, go ahead, Jack. I didn't want to interrupt you. No,
I think that's completely true. I think my only mistake there is because they're all part of this collection of apps, they don't get their time to shine. I think there's a thought in the back of my head. If I start breaking them out and I call them pause for meetings, workflow action, right? You can look at that on the marketplace page and you can get exactly what it means, right?
Yeah.
So
harder when it's like stuffed into the description of something else that doesn't necessarily describe it, right?
It's these are all thoughts that software developers have. Marketers,
marketers would
smack
have
me
that.
with
That
a
was
backhand.
where I came from. I was like, you know what? They all need to have the dopest name, and I'm going to brand it after a video game. I don't care if it literally just capitalizes letters. I'm making it like a whole thing. Splash bells. That was my whole. I just like to have fun. But that's again, all of what you've built could stand alone. I believe it should because it solves a problem. I need a Band-Aid. I don't want like a first aid medical kit.
Exactly. Hey, well, that's my validation. I'm going to go for it now. I'll
for sure
check that over the next couple of weeks. Yeah.
So So Jack, I mean, talk to us like a little bit of like behind the scenes, right? Like I think very much we kind of look at you as like the brand and like the brains behind everything. And I think other sort of like solo devs getting into the space, wondering like what it's like to run their own operation, building apps on HubSpot. How do you like maintain it all? Like, do you have staff? Is it you doing all the support? Is it, do you got family and friends you're bringing into the situation? Like, how are you kind of like running this ship in the background and like balancing your time between all these different apps and customers that you have and stuff like that?
I got you. So I think people-wise, for the first 6 months, it was just me while I was floundering around. I wanted to do it solo.
Yeah.
And my wife was doing the exact same thing, but on the Shopify kind of marketplace.
Oh, cool.
But after
All
the
right.
first 6 months, we decided HubSpot is the place to be. And she's come and joined me, and she's been a massive boom to like the website and the marketing. And she just has an eye to this thing, and also the dev. But other than that, it's just me and her. And I mean, the code is, I like coding. I always like doing tricks. I like programming competitions and all that kind of stuff. The real challenge is kind of like trying to tear myself away from the code and think about the marketing and the sales. That is,
what
tough.
have you learned about yourself when, like, how have you like managed to do that? Because like you have this whole brand, you've got this beautiful website, you've got this presence you've created for yourself on LinkedIn, all things that are not coding apps, right? So like, how have you been able to kind of like assume this other sort of like identity as the business manager that needs to kind of run all this stuff and pull yourself out of VS Code or whatever it is that you're using to build your apps, right? You know, I don't know. I'm not a developer. I just know that thing exists. But like, how do you pull yourself out to be able to kind of like balance that role you're playing?
I think for me, it's developed quite naturally. Ever since I got that first hit of someone's bought my thing, they've used it to solve a problem that no one else can solve. I can't code now for like weeks at a time on something that's not going to help anyone or no one's going to see. You know, in the back of my head, I'm like, you're doing this to help people just not have a bad day dealing with rubbish software, basically, or things that are just missing. So I always try to keep that in mind. And when you keep that in mind, it's kind of like people can't solve their problems if they don't know that the solution's out there. And again, it's easy. There is no powering through people swearing at you and being mean, nasty people. Everyone is
nice.
just really nice.
I had plenty of roles at HubSpot where plenty of people were swearing at me. I was swearing back at them though, so it was fine. But yeah, man, that's cool. So like in terms of like support, you guys are running all of that, right? And it's just about
pretty much
finding time to do that.
It's been an interesting experience, but there's not too much at the moment, and it seems like people.
I was gonna say I can understand like building apps that are a lot of the apps that are workflow actions and stuff like that. It's pretty much just making sure they're doing their thing, and once they become solid enough, there's not like a whole ton of like support like around them, right? Unless we get like what's tough about like Event Happily is that it uses so much of HubSpot and relies so much on HubSpot that there are so many things that our customers ask us about that has nothing to do with our functionality whatsoever. But like, in order for them to like feel like they're getting the most out of it, like sometimes like support for us is kind of like services, you know what I mean? Like, so it's a difficult balance for us just because of like how interwoven it is, you know what I mean? But thank God we got people like Jonathan and now Ben and Brian and stuff like that, right? Yeah. That's cool. How did you like when it was like rough at the beginning? How did you like balance that time, like supporting versus building that new and dive out, maybe climb out of that hole that you may have been put in at the beginning when it first came out? Or is it just you built sick apps and they were just working and there wasn't ever that much support? Like that's a fine answer too as well.
I think, I mean, the problem with my apps is they either didn't get used, right, or people use them. And I did a decent amount of job making sure they kind of work. Though it is interesting because if they stop working, immediately get like everyone complaining that they're not working, which is a very different experience to just being a software dev where you're a capacity manager.
Especially if you're doing associations, like you got the auto associations. If that doesn't work, you will know immediately.
You find out fast.
Yeah, you find out fast. And that's just the reaction of like being a solo dev. And like you get pretty good feedback if you're not doing if something isn't good. But just being attuned to that feedback in general is how you grow like software, right? Right now, everybody's kind of AI flush on, yeah, I can make stuff. It's like, okay, cool. Have 30 people use it today. Like, will it work? If it doesn't work, do you know where it doesn't work? Or are you going to end up doing like the equivalent of what I call like a redeploy every 2 seconds? Because you're just like, hey, lovable, like this thing like didn't work. Gaslight. It's fixed. Great. And then it's like done up. Like, and it's just broken worse and worse and worse. And now you're not you're not a company, right? And what you succeeded is because you know how to build things, right? You know how to talk to a computer in its language. You can make things that work and know if they're broken, how to fix them, but how to employ lint, make everything look cute. That's a big deal, man. Oh, you've reached the point where there's people. Like, it's not just a pretty thing on a shelf.
No, yeah, it's definitely, it's helping people out, which is nice. Still small scale, still not enough to support me, but I'm hopeful. I think surely there's only so many lessons to learn before I get this entrepreneurship thing.
Yeah. And so also, like, I'm on your website, and it's like you do the apps, but then you also do like development services, which sounds like there's custom apps you're building for people, things like that, right? And what's interesting is like a lot of the times we sort of see kind of the opposite in that, where you got HubSpot solutions partners, they're providing HubSpot services, and then they build the same thing over and over enough for customers, do a little bit of custom dev on this thing, and then they go, oh, we should make that into an app, right? I mean, it sounds like you came into the scene being like, this thing HubSpot needs apps. I'm going to go listen to people in the forums, hear what they're complaining about, and then go fill that gaps and then try a bunch of different things here. But then you're also doing custom development services like on the side too as well. And it almost feels like as we're figuring out the app thing and building it up and finding what like our big unicorns are going to be there, right? You're also kind of supporting the business through this like development, like custom dev services, right? Which is something that's absolutely like needed really badly in the HubSpot universe. I'm sure you've kind of seen that. Mm-hmm. How are you balancing like work I'm doing for like the services, sort of like sustain the business work with the R&D and testing and building new stuff and things like that? How are you finding that? Like, because there's like staying alive and then there's like innovating, right?
100%. Yeah. I mean, it's weird because time works very differently for those two sides of my life, right? But the same with when I was a software dev, like working for my clients, working for the consultancies that I work with, you can always just beast out tasks, right? Like the only respect you give to time is it's just going to take this much time to get stuff done. The weird thing about the apps is you set them, you build them, and then you have to leave them and watch them grow over time. Yeah. Right? You can't just come out with a wicked app and do one post and then you wake up tomorrow morning with the exact amount of users your app deserves based on the quality. So a lot of my time at the moment does go into my contracting work. I always try to just set up the experiments, set them up, make them small, set them off, and then just see what happens over time. But yeah, and I mean, obviously AI is helping a lot with my speed boost at the moment.
What are some of the ways you're kind of like folding it in?
Oh my God. I mean, for the past 2 weeks, I mean, I'm sure you're aware of like Claude Code, right? Mm-hmm.
I'm tangentially aware of it.
I tried it 2 weeks
ago. You understand it better than I.
Heartily aware of the magic.
Yeah, it's something I tried 2 weeks ago, right? It's an app that sits on my computer. You can roll in your MCPs, right? So you can roll in your HubSpot MCP, which allows your chatbot to grab your HubSpot stuff. And it's agentic. So it kind of, it works out a plan and then it executes the plan and then it does stuff. And the first time I tried it, it was like a mind blown moment, right? And now the process that I'm in at the moment is you can use the Claude code to hook into your entire tech stack, right? So hook into your database and your task management system and HubSpot, and even the parts of HubSpot that are like open to the API, but not open to the MCP. It's just, hey, can you give me a script that does this for me? Grabs landing pages, renames them, whatever. And once you've enabled it with that kind of stuff, now it can just run tasks for you that were completely manual before. So it's given me a massive speed boost because now I don't really have to Google anything. I don't have to Google documentation to write my code. I don't have to open HubSpot to check all my stuff on my HubSpot and grab the properties and coordinate with stuff. I just have to build a system, right? And some people were saying earlier, it's if you thought systems were important last year, it's the only thing that's going to be around in 12 months' time.
Yep.
So so I understand that correctly. So is Claude using the MCP just to better understand the APIs? So when it's going and writing code for an integration that you have, it knows it better?
Yeah. So the MCP is basically just like an API with a little bit of explainer text, so Claude can figure out what to use it for, right? But you can start mix and matching them. You know, I have the linear one for my tasks. So I can say, grab my linear task and then go to HubSpot and grab all the properties on my thing and make sure that you're using the right schema and then write this test script, right? And it will do it in a wanna. And then if there's something you don't want, you just ask it to build it. So it's kind of like, it reminds me of like markets, right? Like they just get everywhere. Like they start, it's like the gold market, right? Some people came up with the idea to trade gold. The people who didn't care about gold very quickly started caring about gold when they realized these people were coming over and giving them stuff for all their food and elephants or whatever. So it's just like it's taken over my entire setup, and now I can orchestrate it through Claude. It's insane.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if I call myself not a developer because I'm not, but I know how to type some Python up and I can postman myself to victory. But when you enable yourself with Claude, it allows people, Max, you're, I think, forget what I was saying. I think, Max, you are probably the dopest non-sidebar couch coder that I've ever seen, because you have production code that you came out with for some reason, and it works, aka the hapily trigger. That is a web app that gives you formatted data based upon some inputs. That is
it's true.
You did
that, dude. That's the thing that I just like. I know. I just forget. So, Jack, to give you explain the context on this. So, we have this in Event Happily, our event app. The way we like register someone for an event is that there's a contact property called Event Trigger, and when you put an ID of an event record in there, it hits a webhook. It goes, "Oh, that's the event I'm going to register them for," and it creates a registration for it. Right? We are trying to build a more complex like version of that like doesn't just like create a registration, but also can do like a walk-up registration, which in our world is like you create a registration and you mark them as attended, or a wait list, right? Just mark them as waitlisted or pending, right? Which is for like delayed stuff. And so what we ended up building required, instead of dropping like an ID in there, it's a JSON string, right?
Yep.
And so what got really annoying about that is like, it's really easy for us to like drop an ID in and it does its thing. Not easy for us to like remember how to type the schema of like a JSON thing, right? And I was like, I know this is going to be a pain in the ass. And so I ended up going like, just randomly, I was like, like I could just ask ChatGPT to like build this thing I want, right? And so like literally told it like, hey, like I explained the whole thing to it. And I'm like, at the end of the day, this is what I needed. A JSON string, formatted like this, right? And I need a tool that's just going to generate it, let me copy it, this, that, and the other thing. And then we ran into this weird thing where like, when you try to use query parameters to like throw a JSON like string into like a hidden field on a form, it wasn't working. And so like I explained what was happening, and it's like, you've got to encode it, or what was it, Dax? You got to not encrypt it, or maybe encode the encode.
You have to encode the URL.
Right here, right? So like, dude, I built this whole thing on ChatGPT, right? Including like the copy buttons and everything. Like
you put in like your
it's super cool.
Now I want to put them on pending, generate the JSON. Like Max had no business building this useful thing, but AI allowed him to do so. And if you guys have been on the internet for a while, there are thousands upon thousands upon thousands of tools that do stuff like this that just get ad revenue. Because that was what you needed back in the day, like a delimiter, a JSON pretty fire. I need to count word count, like all the like paragraph count. I need to add all of those like ridiculous web app things that existed in like the early, I guess I would say the late 2000s, like just all of those could be built by anybody, even me. And you can just have them and just populate the web. Now you don't need those things pretty much anymore.
I
but
should put an ad on that page, and then every time you guys go and use
there
it,
is
I'll
an
get
ad
paid.
actually. I put it out. It was an ad for a webinar, box webinar with then Hapily. Like that concept though,
You owe me
it
10 cents.
empowered Maxwell to build a production ready application on the internet.
Yeah, and all that, like, remember all the modules in the early days, right? Like, we did a whole bunch of CMS modules. Shout out to Hub Helper Harry.
But Jack, if you're at Max's level, you're able to put things together and go. If you're at Jack's level, you're able to go ridiculously fast and like revolutionize the access to all of your things. And I think that bringing it back to what HubSpot is, that the HubSpot's AI isn't doing that. So everyone still has the opportunity to build these things that do what you want them to do. Because
there is like a little, what's it called? Arbitration period when everyone else is just catching up and you're doing
right
it
now,
like 10 times faster.
Yeah, right now, I still can't create a list by talking to something. It doesn't get it right. Like the AI inside doesn't get it right, but there's still an opportunity to do those things, whether it be from an MCP, whether you have like an installable that you like sell or just give out like $10, buy me a coffee. Here's the installable that will put Claude, put the MCP, put all the things, and then you can now talk to you can interact with technology via voice, which is the whole LLM like thing. And I still think there's an opportunity for someone to make that and sell it for like $20 and just, it's $20 one time and you got to figure out the rest, but it's an installable EXE that you can put on your computer that does the thing and puts HubSpot at not your fingertips, at your, I won't say tongue tip, but it puts it right here. You can interact with your HubSpot way of talking. There's still all these opportunities for people to be able to do this. And if you know how to use AI, you're already halfway done.
Jack, what do you've been watching obviously the HubSpot developer world very closely since you've been just full bore into it. What do you think is like the most recent thing we got access to, or API that came out, or tool that like developers that were given that's been like the most impactful? And like, what's the biggest one that you haven't been given yet? Like what does HubSpot need to make available to developers for you guys to do some really, really cool shit that you want to do?
Oh, I mean, I know they got stuff cooking in the background, which I don't think we can say here, which I'm excited for. But I think the most recent one, and the one I wish they would keep plowing ahead on, is the UI cards, right? I think they're super powerful. I think they're really easy to use. And I've seen RevOps people with AI making their own things to customize their own user interface. I think it's going to be massive over the next couple of years. I just wish you could get them in more places, right?
Yes,
I want a dashboard that I can like pop them on. Because like you can have them on contacts or companies or whatever, but what about, I want my app to have its own dashboard that you could just put on your own little dashboard. I want tools that you can hit buttons that like do reports of your entire HubSpot thing. So they're good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, imagine if UI extensions came to the marketing tools. Right? It really feels like they've really let developers go crazy on the CRM side of things, like records and all that. But it's like, yo, who's making the overlay or like the extra tools that like affect the email tool or the landing pages tool or like little plugins for the CMS and stuff like that, right? Building apps that deal with CMS stuff is like honestly kind of a nightmare. Like me doing a lot with event Hapily. It's real tough, right? And it's tough to get things in the well, I guess it's not that hard to get things in the app marketplace. And I guess that's kind of unfair because they do have like the template and like module marketplace and stuff like that, right? But I'd love to see UI extensions like get built in more pieces of the tool that isn't just a record. You know what I mean? Yeah.
100%. Again, it's the way we're heading in it. When you can have AI create you simple user things on the fly, it's like you need to open everything up. Right?
Yeah. I always wanted like list views, right? List view, you should be able to throw some stuff on the top of the list view, like literally like a little 3-card section up top, be sick. And then when you
like analyzes the contacts in different ways or something.
Yeah, or something like that. Or then having the, when you do the marketing emails or building an email, there should be able to a little sidebar that pops out that has something instant translate or whatever you could do, right? It allows you to add more stuff, pull from pull from something, pull from other objects, anything like that, right? That real estate, the CRM card is the initial real estate that we're able to do. Then we got custom object CRM cards too. It's coming. I'm assuming it's coming, right? There's a lot of stuff that they're doing on the developer side, but that'll really open it up. Like I know a lot of people just are like, I just want the navigation to. I just want to make my own navigation.
Please.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me just do that. Let me hide everything I don't want and call it a day.
Yeah, dude, imagine like they start opening up.
That Chrome extension would be hot. People would
imagine they start opening up like full page surfaces for developers to use, where like you've got like a new little thing that shows up in the nav that just says apps. All right, you click it, you see your apps kind of listed that have like a sort of like a full page, whatever, and then like you're able to build full scale apps within HubSpot that live inside of HubSpot. Use HubSpot data. Yeah, dude, that's gonna be crazy.
It'll head that way, I think. I don't think the web's going to be around forever, right? Like, maybe 5 years. Either it's on the fly UI or it's no UI at all. And
true.
If that's the world, it's like, what does HubSpot end up being? And I think it ends up being just the repository for all your data.
A computer chip in your brain is what it ends up being.
One day.
In 10 years, we're going to be like, did you guys get like the new HubSpot chip installed in here? Did you get
that? I'm still working on the old update, man. I didn't get the updated one. I'm cool with the regular one.
Yeah. Yeah, John, that'll be really interesting.
I got a big question for you, man. I know people will probably want to understand. Like, you came in, you found problems, you made solutions, you put them out there, and people came. The playbook to me is, especially in the internet world for the past 10, 15 years, is do services because they're high margin. You're selling your time. Learn the knowledge from the services to make a product so you could sell it while you sleep, and then profit, right? Where are you looking to go? Seeing that you've got the services, you had made some product, and you'll probably do a couple circles around that every so often. Where are you looking to go? Is it in the HubSpot world? Are you looking to do a big major app? Or are you just trying to have fun and move around and go to KL and then go to Indonesia and Jakarta and go to Bali? And what are you looking to do with this ability that you have to create things?
Yeah, I mean, I have a vision for my future, right? It's a chrome plated VR headset on, right? It's a couple HubSpot apps working in the background, funding my lifestyle, funding all these new gadgets like brain chips that will be coming out.
Yeah.
Sure. And then maybe whispered about in Legend when someone has a really hardcore problem. It's like, it's pretty much Tolley. But I think the apps is where I'd like to go. It's the highest leverage. You can solve the most problems. And it's just the most fun. It's like a game. And I enjoy the client work. I enjoy working with the people that I work with. But when someone else is giving you a task, there's always something in the back of your head like, ooh, could I do this better? Yeah. Especially now. Now I know there's so many bad ways to set yourself a task of a lie.
Yeah.
Are they doing the best they can, the market research, and are they talking to people and all that kind of stuff? So the apps is where I'd like to be.
Yeah, I will say, like, it's with this community the way it is, it's very easy to grow, like, attached to it, invest in it, feel very fondly of it, feel like part of something bigger, right? And when you can build an app that makes all of those people very happy, that feels good, dude. Like, I remember, Dax, like when we launched TikTok today,
bruh,
right? The dumbest little stupid app of all time is we take a field and we put today's date in it, and like it was the dumbest, simplest thing ever, right? And we gave it away for free, right? And we only charge you $9 a month if you want to put it on a different object, right? And it was sort of like a love letter to the HubSpot community, right? Because it was this stupid little thing that 99% of people got for free, but the whole like community kind of like rejoiced over it, right? And it played its part.
Finally, it's here.
It played its part. It was always supposed to have a minimal lifespan, and it was like our way of kicking HubSpot in the ass to be like, yo, go build the feature the right way so we don't have to do something silly like this, right? But it's like we got to play the hero for a moment. And like that felt really, really, really good that we were able to like help the community in that way and like you get them over the hump until HubSpot kind of finally did something like that. So I'm with you, man. Like it feel like when you build something really cool that just like unblocks a lot of people and really helps solve a collective headache that so many people have. Like it's a great feeling regardless how much money it makes, right?
It's
One thing I want to
it's a purpose, isn't it?
Yeah. And you're serving a community you actually care about too. That's the thing. Like the HubSpot community is very easy to love because it's easy for it to love you.
Man, those are wise words right there.
Yeah. The thing is, so recently there was that post that you made, right? Where I think you kind of went through the rite of passage of a lot of like HubSpot developers and that you built something and then HubSpot kind of also built it, right? I want to know, dude, what was going through your head the moment you found out about that, right? Like, tell us your gut reaction. How'd you climb out of the hole? Were you calm the whole time? Like, walk us through that moment.
Yeah, I mean, it came at a weird time, right?
And wait, let's give everyone listening context here. You have an app that delays stuff in workflows, right? It's part of your essentials, right? And the big reason a lot of people would use it is to like rate limit like API usage and stuff like that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So it was like what's the word? It's not like a delay, like a regular delay. It's what was it? Like, how do you explain it again?
It spaces out your workflow executions, right?
Because
HubSpot
like
sends them all through
it.
at once.
It throttles it, right?
It.
Yeah,
exactly.
throttles the way to do it, right? So it's like holding back other stuff going through it and like letting it through in a way that it needs to, right? So it's not like an out of the box delay. It's very different than that, right? And then so HubSpot came out with a sort of like rate limiter similar tool, but only within the context of custom coded actions, right? So yeah, walk us through it. You see that happen. What's going through your head? How are you processing it? What do you do?
So I get the message from my friend Ryan Ginsberg. He's always keeping me up to date on these kind of things. I think the first thought that went through my head is that's the game. Like HubSpot has built this massive platform, which is a massive leverage point for me, right? I could never reach as many people as I could do on my own without becoming a TikTok star, obviously. That's the game. There's nothing wrong with HubSpot taking stuff that everyone needs and adding it for free and just making the platform better, because that's what feeds me. That's the platform that I work on. And then there was the like, oh, this is not good. It's my number one products, right? Is this going to impact it? I don't know. So then I thought back and have you heard about the Chinese horse story? I don't know. Have you heard it? It's like a philosophical one, right? No. It's like this. There's this Chinese farmer and he has a horse, right? And the horse runs away and people come to him and say, you're not having a good day, are you? And he's like, maybe. And then the horse comes back and it brings along with him 7 extra wild horses, right? So they go, it's a great day. Isn't it great that happened? And he goes, maybe. And then his son tries to break in one of the horses and falls off and breaks his leg. So they come to him and they say, that's a bit naff. And then the conscription officers come around to his village and they don't take his son because he's got a broken leg, right? So that's the third thing that hit me, because it's kind of like you don't know if these decisions are going to be good or bad, right?
Yeah.
It could trash my app, which would be naff, but I'll get back up, right? But it could just introduce way more people to the concept of throttling or rate limiting. And now suddenly they have all these extra little problems. And I just move up the stack because I'm the guy that solves the extra problems. I got my reviews. I'm already into the thing. Maybe it's going to be a boom, right? It's hard to puzzle those things out. So that's when I put the post together. I put it out and I said, there's some things I'm doing wrong. I need to focus. I need to reorg. But once this comes out, I'm just going to move up the stack and I'm going to solve all the extra problems that the solution to this problem creates. Yeah. And that's the mindset. How I've gone with it.
And that's the mindset, because we've experienced, I personally experienced it a bunch of times. And the idea though is when there is a feature that is either matching or similar to what you have, it's going to bring more people into that circle of like product use, and then may not be satisfied with what is out of the box. They don't have to be, because there's options and you need to be one of those options. And that's just how you work it.
The other thing too is like, it's not like the HubSpot app marketplace is saturated with competitors, right? And it's like sometimes
Definitely
you
not.
need HubSpot to be that competitor, because if you don't have any competitors, you have no incentives to innovate or get better, right? Like that's the thing. I think like when they came out with like their association stuff, I think we were all freaked out because we're just like, oh man, Associate's going to go away. Associate lives on. Like, it lives on. Clone Attack, I think the Clone Attack sales went up as soon as basic cloning came out because people were like, oh, it ain't that good, right? And you can always be the better version of what HubSpot has, right? Just because they come out with something that you do doesn't mean you're dead in the water. It just means that you now have an opportunity to do it better, right? I get that question a lot from people where they go like, oh, like, why do you develop on HubSpot if HubSpot could just like steal your idea and like do it on their own? It's like, if that was a thing that everyone was afraid of, then you would have never seen an app built on the iPhone, right? Because Apple could just build that app. So does that mean don't ever do it? It's like, no, just do it better. That's why they're better calendar apps than the calendar app. That's why there's better mail apps than the mail app, right? You can always do something better or in a more specific and niche way, right, than the HubSpot app does it out of the box. That's the whole point of it being a platform, right? So there's always still a lot of opportunity out there. I don't think anyone out there should be scared of HubSpot kind of like rebuilding what your app does. Like if anything, it's a blessing because then you've got that incentive to innovate and make it better, which you should always have, right? But it's hard to like have that fire sparked all the time when there's no need for it, right?
In the ecosystem, like there's 900 different order bump app. There's like 50 review app. There's everything is there's a lot of choice. There's a true economy in there, and HubSpot has definitely not that. There's a lot of ops, man.
That's just the game, isn't it? Even if you go to the very top, cutting edge, you got the AI tech companies, isn't it? I'm sure Sam Altman wakes up in a sweat every night because he's competing against 15 different teams with billions of dollars to like just throw at this problem. I think HubSpot's quite chill in comparison.
Oh yeah,
it is not. Well, Jack, man, I
Not too
appreciate the love and appreciate you coming on Built Happily. We always like to ask people 3 questions out of the blue. You're in Thailand, man. What is your favorite street food in Thailand?
Ooh, what was my favorite street food? Oh, I mean, maybe not street food, but I love the ramen here, right? Like you can get everything here, super high quality. The ramen is, you just can't get it back in the UK. Fantastic. Katsu, beautiful.
So we got that now. Airline of choice, since you're out here flying around.
No preference, right? As long as you go direct to the website, they're all the same. Though it's the Boeing planes you have to watch out for in it and try to go for Airbus.
yeah.
One of the things disappearing. So last one, these planes had disappeared. Like, we had no idea. It was like 2 guys stole a plane, never found again. Like, pretty big.
Crazy.
So what's the one thing that you bring with you when you travel that you can't not have with you?
Oh, my wife, right? You can get rid of everything else. I'll still get back up, but
we'll accept that answer, but we're looking for something that fits in the suitcase.
Something that fits in the suitcase. I mean, I recently purchased the new
My
M4.
wife.
Probably does, to be fair. The new M4 MacBook, right? I used to be a Linux guy, but I got sick of the fiddling.
Ubuntu, he used to get it.
I was Arch. I was like on Arch Linux. I was hardcore.
Wow.
But the MacBook, it just works. It just works for everything, right? And I think when you go from dev to entrepreneur, you just need things that work. You can't be.
Love it.
I'll accept that answer for.
As a former Apple employee, I endorse that answer. Yeah.
So, well, Jack, keep building. We see you. You are doing the gospel of kind of what our origin story is, and appreciate you having us, man. Safe travels to your next beautiful place, and keep coding, dude.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Thanks for having me on, and for you, I'll keep on it.
Man,
do it for us, Jack.
Do it for us, Jack. Do it for us.
I'm gonna print out a poster now and put it on the wall.
Do it for us, Jack. That's dope, man.